Okay, so Maria, what is your current work field?
My current work field is I'm a correctional officer for the California Department of Corrections, and I work at the women's prison in Chino.
Okay, so at the women's correctional facility, what is your current job title?
I am a correctional officer.
So, as a correctional officer, what do you do?
Currently, I supervise inmates. I'm in charge of a housing unit, and one day a week, I'm assigned to the hospital. When the inmates go out, I have to supervise them there at the hospital.
Okay, so for those duties, what is your average work schedule? Like, how long do you work and what days?
I work 5 days a week, 8 hours. Unless I get ordered over, then it's mandatory. I have to stay for 16 hours.
So, in more detail, what do you do throughout the day in the correctional facility?
In the correctional facility, currently I work the night shift. So when I arrive at night, I got to go through, check all my doors, make sure everything is secure. I got to go through and do my inventory, make sure all my equipment is there, make sure all my inmates are alive and breathing. That is one big thing that they require us to do. Then from there, I got to go through my Armstrong and disability books, make sure everything is up to date. At 12:30, we do one count where I got to do a live body count, make sure everybody is alive and well. We do another count at 2:30, another count at 4:30, and then I have to wake up my inmates who are kitchen workers, get them ready, pop them out, and then send them off to culinary so they can report to work.
In the correctional facility, what are the things that you don't really like to do?
The things that I don't like to do, well, basically it's that I don't like about work, is not being able to spend time with family. If there's a holiday, somebody has to be there. Sometimes we're not able to go home. The violence that you see in there, in other jobs you wouldn't get to see all of that. The danger, you don't know if you're going to be coming home that night to your family or not. And like I said before, if you've had the education, maybe I would have been at a higher point in this job to where I wouldn't have to do all the physical work that I'm doing at this time.
In one of your previous answers, you mentioned that you worry about coming home. What risks are there in this job?
The risk there is getting hurt by inmates. Inmates are always threatening you. You can get stabbed. You can get beaten by them. Other things that there are is a lot of these inmates have diseases like AIDS, hepatitis, and we're exposed to all of that. We try to do our best to wear our gloves and not actually touch anything. But sometimes situations come up to where the inmates will throw urine at you. They'll throw poop on you. And then you'd have to go to the doctors and just hope these inmates don't have anything that you can contract from them. And then let alone, once that happens, you may bring that stuff home to your family. That's one thing you hope that never would happen.
In your current job at the correctional facility, what goals do you have?
My goals right now, working in the correctional facility, is to try to work less with the inmates. Otherwise, find positions where you don't have to deal with all their drama. One of those positions would be working a tower, where you supervise the whole institution, just watching who comes in, who leaves, making sure nobody leaves. And there I have no interaction with the inmates. But yeah, after a while working with these inmates, the less you deal with them, the better the position that you get.
Okay, after high school, what led you to your current career?
After high school, I started working for an attorney, and actually what led me into the field was my brother. He does law enforcement. Then I had my other brother who went into the Department of Corrections, and from there I just went into it.
You said that after high school you worked with an attorney, but what made you get into the attorney position?
The attorney position, I started as a summer job at a high school, worked for an attorney, and then from there I liked it and applied for other attorney jobs and just stayed in the attorney field.
And you also said that you had both of your brothers into the field. What did your brothers do in this field?
What didn't they do?
What did they do?
Oh, what did they do? They did law enforcement. I've always liked it, but always thought it was something maybe I couldn't get into. And when I saw the opportunity to go into corrections, I jumped in and luckily made it through, and that's where I'm at now.
If you had to, after high school, would you go back and continue your education?
Absolutely. Education is very important. If I had the education, I would be easily more to promote instead of staying where I'm at. But now I can't. I can go back to school, but in reality, I'm almost to retirement. But yeah, if I could go back, I would absolutely go back and go get me some college.
You said if you were able to, you would go back and continue education, but would you go back and change your career path too?
Absolutely. I think I would go back to school and actually get into the Department of Corrections at an earlier age, so I would be able to retire at a younger age and probably promote and actually retire with more money.
Was there any other career path that ever interested you that you wish you would have pursued?
Probably in the medical field, but since I never went to school, I wasn't able to do that. But yeah, maybe the medical field if I would have gone back to school.
Besides your education, do you think there was anything that held you back from getting to the point where you are now?
Absolutely. Basically working as a secretary, I didn't do any physical exercise at all. I never thought I could possibly do the running or any type of workout. Health. I have asthma. I figured there was no way I could get through with my asthma, but I was able to work on my running and made it through.
What advice would you give to someone wanting to pursue a career as a correctional officer?
To go back to school, get as much education as they can, come in. It's easier to promote. As soon as they come in, basically take the test, move yourself up. The more you move up, the more money you make and less work you do.
Thank you for letting me take the time of your day to conduct this interview. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
No, but basically that's it. Just the only thing important is get as much education as you can so you can find a job that you like.
Okay, thank you.